Well, good morning, ladies. This is Paula again. I'm going to do something different today, and you're going to go, ah! But it is July, and we've all heard of Christmas in July. I'm thinking on my Christmas junk journals, and I thought I'd get some ephemera started for them today. And I want to do several, so I'm going to do different styles, and I just thought you could come along with me today as I figure out how to do this pocket. It's actually like a triple pocket, so let's get going. All right, this is what I came up with. Somebody out in YouTube probably has done something similar to this. I don't know. I'm so new to YouTube. But basically, I did this for a book that I'm almost done with. I just took an envelope, simple brown envelope, or craft, I should say, and I made a little flip book on this one. I don't know if I'm going to do the flip book today, but I just added a couple embellishment, inked up my guest check, and then I added some scrap coffee stained paper. Okay, and then I did a little flap right here to add a tag here, and added another tag in front of this. Now there's a lot of different things you can do to make this tag holder, for a better word. I do want to point out that rather than gluing on the sides, I wanted to make it where you could put all kinds of things back in here. If you wanted to put 5 or 6 things, whatever, candy canes, whatever, you could. So I added hinges. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll demonstrate it. We'll do it in the class or in the video today. Okay, and then again, this front one has a little pocket as well. Now, if you glued this on, if you glued this portion here of the envelope on, you could have another tag behind it. But that's not my goal for my Christmas albums. So let's get started. Set this over here out of the way. Okay, I have a couple that I started working on, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this on my video today. And so I pulled out a bunch of things. So the 2 of mine are already cut today, and but the first thing I'm going to do is demonstrate on how to do the envelope. So what you're going to do is you can either ink it before you do the folds or after. I think it's easier to ink it before. So let's just do that real quick. Now this is going to be your front side of your tag holder. And I'm not going to worry about making it super neat right now because of time and so forth. I say every time I do a video that I'm going to try to keep it at 30 minutes. That's not that easy. I know you guys, a lot of you guys have got it down to an art. And hopefully I can figure out a way to do that someday. Okay, and then I'm going to ink a little bit up on one end of this, on the sides, just here on the sides. I'm going to check and make sure you guys are in. Let me adjust just a tiny bit. Okay, I don't want to get out of the camera sight. It's so frustrating when that happens. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is just glue this envelope shut. And don't go crazy with the glue, because I've done that and it just gets everywhere. I say that, then I have a big blob right here. I'm just taking the middle and push it down so that you can get it closed really well. Okay, now give that a second to dry. And so the next thing you want to know about this is folding, where to fold. What I did is I just took an easy measurement and I folded 2 inches up. So let me show you. 2 inches is about right here. So I'm just gonna lay my measuring tool right here, just kind of eyeballing it, to tell you the truth, and just kind of bend it up a little bit to get it started, and then fold it in. And you could use a scoring tool, but I'm too lazy to get up and go get one. So I'm just gonna really press, and then I'll flip it over and press on the other side. Okay, now as you can see, I inked the wrong end, it looks like, so I'm gonna ink this right here. Okay, and then you want to ink where your pocket front will show. Okay, now that's the first step. Oh, let's go ahead and ink down here too. You can't have enough ink in junk journaling. So the next step we're going to do is, let me see, I had some extra hinge pieces. So these are 1 inch long, okay, and anywhere from 1 3/4 to 2 inch long. I mean, it's 1 inch wide and 1 3/4 to 2 inch long. And you're just going to fold it in half and score it. No big deal. I got to get used to working out front. So you just score it as best you can. Both of those. You only need 2. This is what's going to make your little hinges. And there we go. Now, for time's sake, I'm just going to glue this. I've never done it with glue. I usually use double-sided tape just because it's less messy. But, so, we're going to put this right inside here. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. Let me look. Yeah, we're going to put the hinge right in here, but flush with the envelope. So you're going to put glue on this side of the hinge and on the back side of the hinge, and then glue it together. Now hopefully I can do this where you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's folded. Now take our glue. I'm just going to hold it on one little tip so you can see maybe what I'm doing. I'm sorry if it's kind of hard to see because of my big hands here. Try not to over glue because you don't want this to stick the inside of your pocket, like I did just then. Let me kind of I tell you, I just get glue happy. Okay, so you're going to take at your fold, you're going to lay it right at the bottom of where it folds. Straight up. Okay? And then you're going to hold this down and just fold over. I'm sure you guys have hinged before, but I hadn't. I hadn't before discovering this little idea, and I just thought, well, I'm going to try it and see, and I really like the way it turns out. Now, like I said, the first time I did it, I used double-sided tape, but I want to show you how that turned out. It's still wet, so I don't want to pull on it yet, but once it gets dry, I will show you that. Now we got to do the other side. We're going to glue and not over glue. And these things are tiny. I have a hard time with little tiny pieces of paper. Little tiny anything, because I've had a couple hand surgeries, so be patient with me. Okay, so hinge number 2, we're going to put it over here, and this one's going to be a little bit tricky because we've already got our other one in, so I just suggest you pull the front back, slide it in. Whoops, putting it in backwards. Almost had a big blooper. Okay, we're going to put this side in first. Slide it in there. And, you know, it's not the easiest thing to do, but I like the way it looks. You know, I always worry when I do, and then just press it down here. When I glue the sides, I'm always afraid, you know, there's room for one tag and sometimes two, and I'm always afraid I'm gonna yank it open. Okay. So this is ready, and I don't like the way this looks. So what I decided to do on mine was cover it. And so you're just gonna cut it a little bit smaller than your larger side. So, or a little bit smaller than this. I'm sorry, I am just rambling this morning. Okay, so I already have one cut out, but what you're gonna cut out is just slightly a 1/4 inch smaller than the size of the front of your pocket. Okay, now that's what I've done here for time's sake. You do not have to round the corners on yours, but I like that look. And I'm looking around right now thinking, where is my punch? Oh, there it is. It's hidden behind something. Okay, and I put the rounded edges to the top, so only round the top 2 corners. Okay, see? All right, and so it's going to look like this, and you're going to leave a little border of the craft paper around the outside. But quickly, let's ink it. Okay, now it's going to go right here. And in order to make that second pocket, I took a big, giant, or the biggest one I had, circle punch. And it's taken up the whole camera. That's how big it is. I don't see the size on here, but If anyone needs to know, let me know and I'll get my tools out to do it, to measure it for you. Okay, so I'm looking at the paper over here thinking, I'm going to punch out. Well, first of all, I want you to know, this is going to be the base for my big portion. Okay, I'm actually going to do this a little bit different than the sample. So I'm doing a Christmas journal that's going to have acorns on them and pine cones. Okay, that's going to be the top portion. And we've already got the gold portion, which matches with the pine cones. So I'm thinking we need something red or black. And so I punched several different things. And I made several, and then I had a bunch of scraps left over. So I'm feeling like we should just use some of the scraps. If I can find them all over here. Okay. We have 4 different ones to pick from. So I think what I'm going to do, if we're going to have the pine cone up here, then we should see what would look good with it. Okay. After you cut the big circle, you have to cut it in half. And it will look like this. Here's your circle. You just cut it even straight down the middle with your trimmer. Okay, so I could do green with this pine cone. Or, no, that's a no. Candy canes don't come into play. And that's upside down. I'd have to cut another one of those if I used it. Let me see. And then we have a plaid, which I don't think that looks great because we don't have plaid anywhere else. So let's just go with the green for time's sake. All right. So let's get these 2 glued down, and then we'll come back to our pine cone paper. Okay, so you're going to just put a little bit of glue around this one because it's not going to be a part of your pocket. It's just the background. You're going to glue this down with the corners up. Just center it around. You can decide if you want the corners punched or not. I just thought it dressed it up a little bit and kind of looked better with the circle on top of it than it did square, because then you've got continuity with the rounding of the corners. So I got to ink this real fast. You would think, you wouldn't believe how many times in my life I have gone through and inked everything and then see one thing standing out that wasn't inked. Okay, this time we are going to glue right down this line and nowhere else. So right where you cut it apart from the other half, just going to put a straight amount of glue right there. And you just want to make sure you get it to the very end so that it doesn't come off. All right. Now you're going to line it up with your gold paper here on the bottom, straight across like this. Now, I guess I've got some glue being angry here on the gold piece. I got him. Now, I'm not going to pull it apart too much, but you can see there where it's going to flap out. Let's let that dry while we go on and work on our background. Okay. Now, let's see what size this is. I don't know if I did measurements for this or not. I know that it's going to be, let me see, I believe 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. But let's measure it to be on the safe side. Okay, so you want to leave a mat. You want to leave an edge the same as your gold paper down here, so that it looks like it's one piece. So let's just get down here by it, and then we'll know. Let's see. So the envelope is 4, so we'll do 3 3/4 across. Now, I want it to go under the flap a little bit. So do like this. Just slide your ruler under as far as you want it to go. I'm going to take it down to like right there. I'm going to take it down to a 1/2 inch that goes under the paper. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. And then the 1/2 under here. So let's just do 5 and see what we got. We just slide it down. So 3 3/4 will be our first cut. Let me get out the dreaded cutter, which always gives me grief. I don't know if yours does or not, but mine loves to drive me crazy. So we're gonna do 3 3/4, and we can always trim it down more if we need to. Okay, and let's go down to 5 and just see if that's where we want it. It's gonna, you're gonna want it probably 4 1/2 or 5, but let's just go right here and see if that's enough. And it may not be, and we may have to cut it again. Okay. So far we got a good size. So 3 3/4 by 5. And so this is going to be how it looks once we ink it and once we glue it down. Now, if you were making the guest check book like I showed you in the beginning, you wouldn't have to glue a sheet of paper down in this part. It's just your preference. I just wanted it to be a background, and then when I decide what I want to put inside, I can do that once I start putting my books together. Okay, so got the cut right at first. That's a shocker. Okay, let me get my chair, get back over here. All right, so we're gonna ink. The one thing we all do. So we're gonna ink. This paper's thinner than, I'm kind of using a mix of paper. I've ordered my Christmas paper for this year. I went crazy last year. I was determined to get all of my grandkids' Christmas pages that I was so behind on. I mean, like 3 or 4 Christmases. That I used so much of my paper that, that I had stocked up on over the years. And it's like crazy when I started digging. I was like, oh no. So I had to get on an order. Okay, this fits perfect too. Just FYI, I just wanted to let you see that. It fits perfect in between our hinges. So, we got those correct. All right, so we're going to glue again. The favorite thing to do is glue. I'm going to quickly do this because I'm determined to not take forever. I have a little extra project if we have time. Just a little thing that I'm doing. I'm going to do quite a few of for my pages. Okay, now let's glue. Let's slide him down in here first. Make sure he's where he needs to be. And then we can pull him right where we want him. Make sure he lines up with the gold on the lower portion. I think that's close enough. And of course, I got glue right here. I'll find myself picking glue off my fingers all through the day and even at night sometimes. So aggravating. I live in this craft room, and okay, so what do you think? Not too bad, huh? Kind of hard to see. Sometimes I can't tell if you're able to see, or you know, from a glare, or if it's just me. Okay, so that one is put together. Now, my goal on this one and is to decorate it. I'm really getting them ready to use in my books, and I'm just thinking in my mind, you know, what kind of fabric do I have? You know, I have the pine cone fabric in these colors. So I'm going to set this one aside. But I do want to point out to you, let's just look at this. You know, actually, let's make something to put in it real quick. Let's do an envelope. Let me pull a few things out of my little bowl here. I don't know exactly what it's going to end up being, but just pull out a stack of things. Let's just pull all those out. Well, let's put that back. We don't need that. Okay, so I just have a bunch of ephemera here. Let's see what happens. The first thing I'm going to do is ink this envelope. Now, obviously, none of this is coffee stained, but this is a craft envelope, and I love craft with Christmas. You know, because it seems to calm the brightness down. At least it does to me. I don't always use craft with Christmas, but I use it a lot. I don't like the way those edges look, so I'm just going to kind of smooth them out a little bit. Okay. Well, we really need to do the back too. I'll go back and smooth the back out after my video's over so we can save some time here. So, all right, here's the envelope, and we've got it in the upright. Listen, I've done envelopes and have everything flipped where it opens on the bottom, so I'm try to be real careful about that. Okay, what do we want to put on here? Got all kinds of goodies. Well, we want to use this for sure. So at some point we're going to put that on there and fix that. And let's see what else we've got. Oh, this is pretty. We can do this old vintage Santa. I'm just going to put him almost in the center, maybe just slightly up. See there? Okay, let's ink him. Ink, ink, ink. He really doesn't have anything to do with pine cones, but, and I'm not at the point that I'm all that particular. I'm really not. I just want a few things to, plus, it's really a junk journal. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Okay, I have some holly leaves here, and they are funky shaped. I mean, I wonder what they'd look like if we put it inside. No, I don't like that. I'm going to try to operate on them. I'm going to do right in here. Not that they'll be that much better. And I don't like the giant border. Now, I have the biggest scissors right now. I don't know how much detail I can do. I'm just cutting the very big areas. Big white areas. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. People aren't gonna, you know, again, the word junk comes in. I do have a hard time being junky, you know, because I've always been the opposite, but it's kind of freeing to be able to go that direction. Okay, now I'm going to ink this holly leaf, cover up the rest of the white. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, we'll put our Santa back in his place and see if that helped any. And it may not have, but we're gonna see. We may have to slit it, or we'll just put it over the top. We'll just do it like that. I'm not going to argue with it. You know, it's just less stressful just to go with it. Which in the past, I would have argued with it and worried about it. Okay. And I would have popped this up on some pop dots to give it dimension, but you just really can't do that in a junk journal. I mean, it'd be huge if you do. It's kind of hard. I keep wanting to put this up under here. Let's see what it'll look like. Well, I guess we're not. Let's just put it off to the side. Maybe that'd be better. There we go. Now that's our Santa. Now, right now, I'm not going to worry about anything for the inside. But you would want to go back and make a card or something and put it in the inside. Oh, and look how cute that's looking. So, let's continue on. Okay, let's do this little pine cone tag real quick. And of course we got to do the tag. One thing I do like at Christmas is I like a touch of glitter. I don't want it to be overboard But, you know, for instance, my pine cone fabric that I'm using on this particular book is got some gold in it, and it's just beautiful. And so I'm going to glue this down, and I may go back at some point when it's time to do the actual book, and I may go back and I'm going to bring it up. I may go back and put some embellishments of some type, some extra on there. Okay, now I also, this is where I told you I like bling. I also like to cover my, I like to cover my little hole punch. Now this is the big question. This is adhesive gold paper, which I've never used before, which is going to be interesting to see if I can get it apart because of my fingers. I lost about 10% use of the small function of my fingernails. So it makes holding and tying a bow is a trip. But I can do it. It just takes me about twice as long. And I would put another one on the other side. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, and I would tie, I think I'm going to go ahead and tie. Let's tie some of this, just a little piece. Not a lot. That way we can get an idea of what a finished look would be. I'll be back later today to show you a book that I plan on putting in my Etsy store this evening. If I don't have it in this evening, I'll have it in tomorrow. And I hope you guys, I wish you guys would like my videos and would subscribe and give me a thumbs up today. I'm new, and you know what it's like to be new to anything. It's like people don't know you're out there yet. So I'm working to try to get some subscribers. I haven't had my Etsy store open that long, but it's done really well. And I've had some really good comments, and so I'm pleased about that. Okay, ladies. This is another tag that you can put in. Now, I'm going to, just because we've got this little cool pocket, I'm just going to slide it over here. Now, you could also just put it up here with your other one, because we've got that hinge and we've got plenty of room. So let's just put it there since it's so hairy from its little eyelashes. Okay, now let's do, I want to put, now I don't know if I want to put a red one or a green, or do I want to put Santa? I thought I had some green Santas in my bowl. Let's see. Who knows? Okay, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to put Santa. I'm going to ink this card. It says Jolly on one side. It's Tim Holtz You all recognize this, I'm sure. Okay. Can stick it right here. That's cute. That looks cute. Okay. So I will at some point go up here. Let me see. I know I plan on putting some Sari Silk up here. Let's just see how long we got it there. I wanted to show you guys some other things. I might have to do a part 2. Let's see. Boy, that one is ripped up. Let's see if this is going to even work. I may have to cut a different piece. Let me do that. Okay. You know, this Sari Silk is like my favorite new thing. Now you could take this and just take it around the corner and staple it if you wanted to, because it's going to be glued down. Staple it on both sides, actually. I think that's what I'm going to do. I like the way it goes across the top. Get my tiny attacher. I want to try to take it up quite as far as I can so it's not hard to get my items out of the pockets. Well, I had that just like I wanted it. Holding this down and trying to... It's not all that easy for... Let's go this direction. There we go. Nice. Okay, and then I just like it to look all crunched up and all different directions, and not super tight. And then we'll do the other side. I did not originally plan to do that, but I like the way it looks. Let's see what else we could add on here. Maybe, maybe we could tie some, let me look. I think I have some red ribbon. I do. Maybe we'll just tie a red ribbon up here. I have this crinkled ribbon that I made, gosh, a while back. And you guys, color your own ribbon if you can. When you're gonna do Christmas especially, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm just tying like a little knot up here. And I probably could have saved a little bit. I hope I'm staying in camera, guys. If not, I'm so sorry. That's my goal. And I like to, when it's wet, if you'll crinkle it when you're dyeing it, I use Tim Holtz ink. Or you can use any kind of spray that you have. I'm thinking that I could almost wrap that around a little bit. I hope you can see. I know this is kind of... I'm just going to wrap it around and give it another tie because I just don't want to waste any of it. And that one end was too long. Let's leave it with like a knot there, a big knot. And let's cut off a little bit. Okay. Not exactly how I planned. Oh, you know what? I want to add... Let's add, and I have it ready because I know my fingers fumble around. I'm going to add a charm. Now, where do we want to add the charm? I think we should add it over here with the bow. Sorry, guys. I want to pull it back. Don't ask me why. It's habit. I'm needing to get used to doing it further away. It does not want to clip in the seam binding. So let me just get a little piece. There we go. Hopefully that worked. If not, I'll work on it and make it look better later, but right now, this is what we got. I think I'm going to flip my tag over to this side because I like the children with Santa, but I want to be able to see Santa. And I'm going to turn this up where you can see the word Santa there. And this is our finished product. Now, I had some other things planned for today's video, but I'll see. I might come back and go ahead and continue. So this will be part 1. Now, in the next video, all I'm going to be doing is putting together, inking and putting together a couple more of these, and if we have time from that, I'm gonna do a little extra things with the little craft bags. All right, guys, video number 3 completed. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to see everything I was doing with my big clumpy hands. So I hope you'll join me in part 2 later, hopefully this evening. And if not, it'll be tomorrow. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Help me get my YouTube channel going. Tell your friends to come watch Crazy Paula. And I know it is not Christmas, but it is Christmas in July. So I'll see you on the next video. Ho, ho, ho.